going, everyone? We are back again with another fantastic part two. Going for part two on this one. Next big moves on the chain. I'll leave to turn the comments on for this one on the screen. New feature. Check it out. And yeah, should be pretty fun. The first part, if you didn't see it, we covered yesterday. Went through and looked at different types of bridges, atomic swaps, talked about wallet, different pieces like that, privacy. And for this one, going to be focused on PulseX. So I'm going to go for about 40 minutes or so and dive into some different pieces of PulseX, what could be coming in the most bullish ecosystem on earth, the PulseChain.com and the PulseX.com. Should be pretty fun. So let me just put this on the screen. So we can have a little bit of, I'll drop the link in here. This is just Richard again's wish list for some of the stuff. We'll reference a little bit as well. And if you're not sure how to get to the different places in the ecosystem, feel free to go to gorealdefi.com. It is a verifiable security window view into the apps, official apps, and the PulseChain ecosystem. Hex app, Bridge, Launchpad. You got ETHX there, and the PulseX exchange, and the scan, the block explorer as well. So to get to PulseX, by the way, I'm just going to click exchange, big, beautiful X right there. And you can see the exchange. And at this point, by the way, you can see version 1.13. And I think the original version was it just v1.100? So if you go on GoRealDefi, you can click verify hash. And it'll verify the hashes that they're pointing to, the official ones as well. But you can see for the different apps here, for the Hex app, you got 1.0.5. For the Bridge, 1.0.8. So all these have had different upgrades and versions and stuff over time. And it looks like PulseX has had the most, if we're going by each one, is like a 0.1 increase until it goes over. So the one that had the least, ETHX 1.03, and then the Launchpad, and then the Block Explorer scan. And also, and also the Hex app, only a couple upgrades on that as well. But PulseX has been the most upgraded as far as iterations stuff go with 1.1.3. So what is that, like 12, 13 upgrades, something like that? And it is a very simple, and I like simple, but there's not a lot going on other than, you can trade, you can farm. There is no of the single-sided liquidity. It looks way different actually than the original, like the first version or so. There's V1 and V2 for the burn and earn. The inflation's been adjusted as well. I mean, different things have changed in the ecosystem with PulseX. And I mean, it's got a few features and stuff here, but boy, could it have a lot more, right? And one thing I've talked about before with the different versions and with the different pieces that can happen, and we've seen some major upgrades. Again, we've seen the V1, V2 stuff happen in the beginning. We saw the stablecoin, the stable swap stuff happen there as well. And yes, if you go here and click stable, you can see different information on that, the pulls, and all that stuff as well. So there have been these upgrades, but what is missing? We could talk about single-sided staking. That's something that just came up. We talked about a lot on the show as well. So single-sided staking, the ability to do something with your PulseX coin, right? Like be able to put it in, stake it, earn community coins, earn other coins, earn something else. It could be ink. It could be anything else. Probably not ink, I would say. I think it would be something more. I mean, the original idea of all this stuff was, I think everyone's forgot at this point. Like, I haven't paid much attention to myself. The original idea was to earn. Communities will come in and they could do supply distribution through. Okay, we're going to launch on PulseX, and we're going to get part of the supply for people who are, they can earn it through staking their PulseX, right? And just to give you another look at what PulseX used to look like and some of the ideals that even Richard has posted about screenshots and stuff too. It's always fun to go back and look at these different ideas. So this was, this is in 2022, February 2022. Watching PulseX devs test some new features, I could see staking PulseX to get incentive token, but not PulseX. Testing is going well. So here you see in a very pancake swap style, you can see the staking of PulseX. So this was on the testnet. So again, why did this not happen before? Was it because of changes like, this is just, I don't want people to, I don't know, there's so many different trains of thought and strategies here. Because remember when the farming was high, everybody wanted ink. There are ways that the different incentives could, kind of cannibalize. That's like the thing too. Why would people buy and stake Hex if you could get, if incentive token was dominating, stuff like that. If you give PulseX utility, now they got another reason, for example, not to buy Hex or not to farm. And so I think it comes down to, what do you want to incentivize people to do? Do you want them to provide liquidity to earn incentive token? Providing liquidity seems like a very useful thing for the ecosystem. I think even Richard talked about this in prior posts and stuff as well. Versus taking, the coin and staking. So if you're staking the PulseX to earn some new coin, no matter what it is, if it's ink, then there was some inflation there. I think it's inflating, you're earning it, it's coming from somewhere. Like you're earning ink from somewhere. Or if it is a new community coin, well, now you're putting the PulseX, you're putting it in there to earn something else. It's kind of like there's some different trade-offs and stuff too. So literally there are only a few. If we search, literally I'll just go a search and see what I did. A whole thing about single site staking, and just let me use the platform. Okay, here we go. From when I'll just do single-sided. So in 2020, so this was July, this was 2 months after launch or so. I wonder what a PulseX farm single-sided pulls instead of farms experiment would do. So there have been different tweets of him talking about the disadvantages in doing this as well. I don't have them handy. We might be able to find them, but yeah, this is right after launch too. Oh, single-sided pulls. So maybe he was thinking about it. Maybe there is this private testnet where, there could be a scenario where there are these private testnets. There's these private versions that they have different iterations of PulseX, and they're like, oh, let's turn on single-sided pulls and see how that works. So that's interesting. I'm just kind of thinking while I'm looking at this too. And this is in so that was after PulseChain launched and PulseX launched, of course. In 2022, in April, fun thought experiments, incentive token distribution to bridged in pools, normal pools, single-sided pools. So what are bridged in pools to this? Bridged in pools. Is it just talking about bridged in stable pools? Let's use AI for this. Yeah, and this is another, we'll get to this in a minute, but this was a little bit after that. PulseChain will be nice to have. The use of listful contract addresses, wrap PLS on Ethereum, which there is bridge wrap PLS on Ethereum, bridge in tokens from ETH to PulseChain, and then on PulseX single-sided staking, auto route. So we have auto routing, faster auto route finding, might have that too. All that. That's coming up in a minute. It could be an interesting one, but I want to riff with AI a little bit on this too. This is how we research. Let's see. In the context of PulseX on PulseChain. Let's see. Founder thinking about ink distribution. What is bridged-in pools? Is it bridged-in stable coin pools? Let's see what it says. Other hi to the chat. Won't get a lot of time to do chat here, but I appreciate you. Get to all the questions I can, but thank you very much for showing up. And yeah, I got a lot to get to. Not a ton of time. That's why we do this in like 3 parts, because I prefer to do a few different streams, shorter streams than like 1 3-hour stream usually. Liquidity pools contain tokens bridging from another chain. Well, that's normal pools, isn't it? Bridged in pool. Bridged in stable. Okay, so just it could be stables. It could be anything bridged in. So anything wrapped. So like a wrap pool. That's what bridged in pool is, like a wrap pool. So interesting. I always like to think about, it kind of gives us some insight of what maybe he was thinking too. What do you want to incentivize? Who do you want to have this incentive token? People bridging in stuff. You want to reward people from bridging in tokens from Ethereum, bridging in value. If they're have value on Ethereum, bridge them to PulseChain. There's pools for them. That could be one. So the normal pools just, could be just PulseX or PulseChain tokens and stuff. And single-sided pools. Okay, that makes sense. Well, so ETH from PulseX would be considered bridged in pool? Really? Yeah, tell me what normal pools are then. Because on PulseX now, we have both, right? There's no difference. These are bridged in pools and these are normal pools. So we have them both on the farming tab, and they're both the same. So in this situation, they're both the same, but it's interpreted a little bit different. Interesting. Yeah. So what if there's changes there? What if I guess it's just the idea of like, what if there's just new farms that incentivize different stuff or different ratios or incentive structure around that? Could be interesting. Oops. So that's what, again, there could be a testnet right now that has single-sided staking on it that are just like, yep. I think, based on these models, the incentives, all this stuff, we're going to release it or not. Could be. Oops. So, and then we have this one where he goes in detail about a few different things. I'm trying to save this one. So single-sided staking, so it's on the list. What would be nice to have? Again, nice to have list. And then wallet, literally mentions wallet right here. Do most of the stuff for you automatically. Yeah, and that's why it's fun to go back and look at these. We get more information that we haven't heard for a while. So this was almost 2 years ago. So wallet. So this sounds like the wallet do most of the stuff for you automatically. So does that mean bridge integration, PulseX integration? That sounds like some wallet features as well. Yeah, that's a pretty useful piece right there. I'll drop this in the link. Drop the link in the chat. Anybody wants to look at it. And I know we talked about the wallet yesterday, but that's wallet with privacy and automatic bridge and PulseX and routing and trading and all that stuff. That could be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Third-party sat, someone have to request form and probably get it. And that's showing up bridge to take tokens. Stats not showing bridge and TVL. We kind of have that now with PulseChain.com. Does it show the bridge? Let's see if we go to stats. Well, we got some stats. We don't have the, I guess we just got the volume. Yeah. Could we get some more? Maybe. Lots of DeFi sets that don't show anything about the managed pulse. Yeah. And we got a few today that show some stats that too. On ramps, exchanges, devs, enterprise, retail adoptions, all you guys calling around, emailing your friend. The better the list of nice to haves, the easier it is for people to build them. Yeah. Pretty interesting. So that's a good piece. That's something that, me just looking for single-sided. And then even here, devs have finite time. Hex is being worked on for PulseChain. That was back when the PulseChain support for it or something needed update. Auto router is being worked on. That happened, or at least some version of it. Upstream updates being merged for core clients. That was, so like talking about the validator clients, getting updates from the clients on that, from the original clients to the fork clients that we use for running validators. Wallet Connect is being upgraded. Okay, and then single side staking needs to wait. So if it was on the list, it was not prioritized, I'll say that. So pretty cool. This is the early Pidius tweet. Pidius will be launched next week. Wow. Shout out to Pidius, by the way. The protocol for trading, for being able to do swaps and stuff. Pretty cool. And they just did a recent upgrade as well. So they do run out some updates. Yeah, the new Pathfinder Arch. Yeah, I think they have some testing. There's some new features run out too. Pretty cool. Really appreciate them. One of the best and like awesome DEX aggregator. PulseChain, so how you can do swaps and get the best deal, all that stuff. Amazing. So single side staking is one. I know a lot of people are like, how do I use my, I want to use my PulseX for something. I don't think so. The argument goes like, you don't need your PulseX for anything. Like nothing needs utility if price goes up. Like it's like one way of looking at it. It's like if Ink and PulseX never get utility, I'm not going to be disappointed. It's nice to have. It's, green grass. It's a thing that can happen, but there's plenty of tokens that have no utility and do well. So the first thing I would say is I'm not saying they have to ever have utility, but the fact that they could have it is pretty bullish, right? Like something could happen and it hasn't happened yet. And it could get people more interested in it or lock up more supply or burn more or give people who need utility to be a thing a reason to do it or whatever. So PulseX and Ink both, right? You earn incentive token for farming. Could that change in the future? Maybe. What do you do with PulseX? It gets bought and burned, but there's nothing to do with it right now. Some people speculate Ink could be used for governance. I think it's built into the contract and stuff. It could be, but I don't know. Like every time I hear the governance thing, I just think that, well, first, I think of Richard saying like it doesn't need to have utility. Like all these things don't need to have utility. And then I think, I don't know, Richard isn't, I don't see him as one who's like wants to democratize the ecosystem, right? He likes control of certain things. Like not control of the network, for example, because PulseChain is super decentralized. He couldn't change nobody can change the hex token if they wanted to. They can't change the contract code, right? You have to, if you want to do, now you can launch a new token, and if everyone migrates to that, or that's the new thing, social consensus, then that is, that is, you can do you can change the code. You can't change the code, but you can launch something new. And if people use that more than the other one, then which one's the real one? Which one's the new one? All that stuff. So there's a way to do that. But I think Richard is really big on decentralization of the network. And probably, I mean, again, speculate, from what I've seen and all these things, probably I would say prefers more centralized like ownership of control. You got the OA stuff. You got the, again, PulseX being able to turn the knob on inflation for each token on the farm, being able to add and remove farms, stuff like that. So I think there's certain things where governance, it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't fit the profile to me. It seems like one of those like utility for you, utilities. I mean, and there's plenty of projects where this makes sense and it's useful. I'm not saying governance isn't useful. I'm just saying, and like being able to vote and for farms and all this stuff is useful. I just don't think that's something that is interesting. Is that interesting to Richard of like, oh, we need to like let the community decide all these things. I think he's much more of like, no, I'm the founder. I'll decide these things. So while it is utility, while it is something to do, I just, I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't happen. So if it doesn't happen, what can it be used for? I don't know, maybe nothing. Maybe it's literally just you earn it and you can stake it in the farms and earn more of it. And that's just your reward and it's worth something because people buy it. So utility for PulseX and ink tokens, maybe that could be something in the future. A lot of different ways that could happen as well. I want to go back to the simplicity of this interface. See where here it has bridge, but it goes to the bridge link, right? Like the bridge.pulsechain.com. Why? I could just see this being a tab that doesn't go somewhere else. You just click bridge. Like this doesn't exist. You click bridge and you go to a bridge page. Like this is bridge, and then it's integrated and you just bridge from the app. I could see that being a feature. So you just like, again, PulseX becomes this, I talked about this before, like the one-stop shop for, it's got bridge, it's got stable, it's got farming, it's got trading, it's got all these different things. It's got the charts, it's got, click info, it's got all the pieces. And the bridge could support many different chains. Like maybe that's where all of the on-ramping comes from. I could even see like a buy button or a bank button or something like that. They get you to an integrated on-ramp. Because what do you want to incentivize people to do? You want people, if you're a founder or you're anyone in the community and you want the price to go up, what do you want them to be incentivized to do? Bring money in, create volume, buy the tokens, especially bring new money in, like fresh money. And like fresh money coming in, that can buy coins. It may reduce sell pressure from other coins because now I'm not selling my hex to buy PulseX. I'm keeping my bags. I'm bringing fresh money in to do that, making it easy and frictionless for people to do that. And using a bridge and having to go all these places and learn all these things. Again, the more easy ways to do that, the better. And the more integration, like every time they click, that may be a piece of friction where they don't want to go outside the side. They want to do everything here. So getting new people in, giving them all the tools, letting them do all the things. I mean, that could be something. Again, how much stuff is this going to be created by the community? How much of it will be created with the vertical integration for the core products? TBD. We already got cheaper fees than Ethereum and a lot of other networks. I think the UX is pretty simple. Again, I think we could have a lot more stuff here. Look at the burn. I mean, yeah, I could see a facelift to PulseX coming at some point too. That could be interesting. So so AI, like what are some things too that there's different DEXs and AI is all the rage right now for good reason for I'm very interested in AI, but I know everyone's trying to slap AI onto the product and make it in AI enabled in one way or another, and whether it makes sense or not. There could be, there's a lot of different. Why can't PulseX have AI stuff? Right? Like, why can't there be some AI integration or trading or charts or something like that does it too? You could also talk about V3. So PulseX is a fork of PancakeSwap, which is a fork of Uniswap V2. There's also a PancakeSwap V3. And a lot of people like V3 liquidity, which talked a lot about V2 perhaps being, for example, better for fundamentals, or at least, that's the extrapolation of data from that. It's probably why, didn't launch V3, launched a V2. Could be easier to pump. And if you're setting an ecosystem up for fundamentals, you don't care what the newest version or the different thing is. You want the thing that works, that goes up the hardest, right? So that's why I think V2 was chosen and stuck with for that, for the most part. But V3, if we're looking up here and we see, if we go to liquidity, you see your liquidity, all V1, V2 stable. Like, why couldn't there? And it kind of makes sense in the numerology too. V3, even though V1 and V2 are both V2, they're just the burn and earn. V1, you can farm on and earn ink, but your fees get burned. And V2, there's no farms, and you earn the fees, but there's no farms. And then the stable part is the stablecoin swap piece. So could see V3, with the concentrated liquidity, all that fun stuff. And a lot of people like that. A lot of people might use PulseX if they can do V3 on it too. And maybe there aren't farms on V3, or maybe they aren't, all the fundamental stuff, all the key stuff stays on V2, but V3 is just for people if they want to use it. And then also we have, privacy. Again, what if we got the bridge? What if we have mixers? What if we have some kind of privacy protocol? I know there's a bunch. I can't even remember what the privacy thing. They said somebody talking about the privacy. I need to look up my own video on this because I don't even remember. Talked about this, but it's been a while. Let me just do RHMax privacy. Oh man, I don't know. Privacy protocol. I think it was like the one of the deployers of PulseX was testing some privacy protocol on testnet, on PulseChain testnet. I think that's what it was. So many things have happened in the past year, a couple of years. Privacy testnet. What do I look for? Yeah, security. Oh no, security testing on. No. Wow, pre-launch. Look at that. Me and Corey pre-launch. I don't remember. Privacy. I did search X. Let's do this. So I think I talked about it. You know what? I'll just do PulseChain testnet privacy. Chat, help me out if you know this one. Block blend is one good. Oh, you talk about mixers? Let me see block blend real quick. Cross-chain privacy bridge. I've not used block blend. Okay. Cross-chain privacy bridge. Do they support PulseChain? Oh, wow. They do. Have you used the step catcher? Some other privacy. Have you used the PulseChain? That's pretty cool. PulseChain to Ethereum. Wow. So we have from PulseChain to Ethereum appears to be a bridge. Let me, yeah, I want to learn more about this one too. It's pretty cool. Well, looks like I'm going to go back to AI, and a dip catcher can only type in so many. What is block blend and how does it work for bridging type assets from Ethereum to PulseChain? Oh, it's the best way to go from Solana to Pulse? Huh. I don't see people talk about this much. Blockblend is decentralized privacy-focused cross-chain bridge that enables users to transfer assets between blockchains. Yeah, supports. Wow, does it support Solana as well? Unlike traditional bridges that require a lot of connections. Okay, knowledge transfers. Like, how does it work though? So it's a bridge between multiple networks, even non-EVM based ones apparently. And you just bridge it. Transaction times, fees. That's pretty cool. Good stuff, man. At least. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A million. Let's see. Actually, let me do the other way. Let's do from Ethereum to the Pulse chain. So I want to bridge, say I want to bridge 1 ETH. Is it taking out some kind of fee, maybe? Privacy level. Okay, so you can do like privacy level based on that. Maybe it does privacy set. Let me just ask too. Technical details, bruh. No, it's private as Tornado. Yeah, it might not be. Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's probably like pretty private, but I think that there's probably some difference where voice smart contract both. Okay, so Blockblend, in order to do PulseChain, did they deploy on PulseChain? Because it says here, Blockblend employs smart contracts on both the source and destination blockchains. So they support PulseChain. If I type in Blockblend, is it going to come up? I wonder how they deployed it. These look like tokens. Does it have a token? I just want to like, what's the, yes, GPT. What is the, using a block explorer. I got to wrap up here in just a few minutes. Block explorer on PulseChain. How can I find the Blockblend contract? BBL, if it's a symbol token. Well, it says the token. If I'm looking for, it's a token. So you look for a contract. I want to look for contracts. Okay. Does it just show up as a token? I mean, I found it. If that's the case, BBL. Or it's, I mean, I just always want to assume this is like copy over as like a PRC20 or something. Should be in here for a while. We went down this rabbit hole. I want to know, but let's see, use a token. I want to find the contract, not the token. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna wrap up in like 1 minute if this doesn't work. Black, yeah. It's not verified, so I can't look at the. Huh. I mean, it must be on here though. If this is not it, I saw it. It supports it, and it says it's got to be, yeah, deployed there, which makes sense. Okay. Interacting. Open your browser. Oh, actually, that's a good point. I can do dev tools and see. Look at the contract address it's using to do requests. It might be in there too. Okay, I have to look that up. Very interesting. Okay. Thank you, Dip Catcher. That was. You gonna get some dips in today? You got a dip bar? You get some dips in? Dips are good. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Where are we at? Where's PulseX? Where's PulseX? Maybe try sending us some PLS on, see what contracts it has. You interact with. Oh, that's an interesting idea too. Maybe. Okay. I would like to know. I'd like to see that. Anyways, wrap it up here in like just a couple minutes. What else could become for PulseChain or for PulseX? Cover quite a few things. What else? What other bullish things? Yeah, limit orders. I mean, not that that's a really bullish thing, but limit orders still seems like an easy one. I don't know. Like, I know the community. We have Piteous, and they built a great product. I wonder how many things, like how many features, like will they let the community build all these like kind of just minor but useful features such as, you know, limit orders and different like pieces, the user experience part for trading. Maybe that'll be like a community. They're going to focus on that. They're going to let the community do that. And then everything else, everything about fundamentals or everything that's maybe privacy related or just these unique getting money in and out, the bridge integration, the farming, like all that stuff, that'll be like the PulseX thing. I could see that too. Like it doesn't need to do everything. It could be a one-stop shop, or it could just be the place where you do these super important features and place where that is. But there's a ton of upgrades it could have, of course, as we just discussed. So pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's a few different things. I think we'll wrap up there. PulseX, pretty awesome. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. All right, appreciate you all. Again, didn't get much to chat today, but we've been doing. Thank you for being so consistent. Chain Brother means a lot of people. It's gonna be 6 months up here. Starting the episode, Mr. William Dugan. Appreciate that. Thank you for support, and we got a lot more coming. Tomorrow we got a community stream. Thursday we got debate, and Friday we got another bull stream. Probably should be fun. All right, everyone, that's all I got for you today. Sci Vibe and 5555. We are out.